All right. Francis, welcome. Okay, I think we just give some people a few more minutes. This is just a minute past 4. So we just have to, let's see if we can give people like 4:05 or 4:10. So let's see how people who come on board, then we can start officially. I know that today we're already in the festive mood, so we don't want to waste much of our time. So we'll get into the meat of the day and see how we trim it out. Okay, just give us some time. Thank you for joining early enough. We'll get it wrap up on time, and everybody will get back to their businesses as usual. Thank you for joining, and welcome to the boardroom, where we wait for others to join us. Okay, someone is raising his hand. We've not already started, so I don't know what you person want to ask. We just have technical come on, so we don't know the name of the person. So Please, if it's something that you want to add to us while we're waiting for us to join, please go ahead. The Techno Camo 12 as the name.
Hello.
Yeah.
Put you on the line. I'm just joining in.
Okay.
Signify my presence.
Okay, your hand is up. That's why we thought you wanted to ask something.
Signify my presence.
Oh, all right. Thank you very much. Welcome.
Yeah.
Okay. Welcome everyone to the boardroom. Last session was a wonderful one, and we had a great experience as we had people who are seasoned media practitioners on out-of-home business. They had to drill down the issue of making us understand the values of each of out-of-home channels have. And we did a lot of justice. And in case you missed that particular episode, and maybe you missed some points you want to catch up, we have it on our YouTube channel, which is OH Academy YouTube channel, where you can actually have an opportunity to visit that particular episode. And you catch up with whatever you want to catch up with on that. The same thing is going to happen to this episode as well. We're going to also have to create the content we have here and push it across to that place for us to have a second back check of this particular content we are pushing out. Welcome to Boardroom again. It's a wonderful experience for us to gather here as OH professionals and find a way to share knowledge, ask questions, look into some issues concerning us as professionals. So what it means is that we keep doing this often as possible, so that we'll be able to create a knowledgeable out-of-home practitioners in the Nigerian market. I'll by this means give the floor to the moderator of the day. That is in the person of Ohiare. So to take over the floor, so we can get into the meat of the day. Anna, the floor is yours. So let's get started. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Hello, Kingsley. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon and compliments of the season. Hello, Kingsley.
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay, yes. Thank you very much for this opportunity. It's a privilege and a pleasure to be here, actually. As he has introduced, my name is Hannah Ohiare. I'm currently head of sales at Global Out of Home Media. So, of course, as you know, welcome to Boardroom Webinar Series 102 by OH Academy. And today we shall be discussing the topic, developing winning proposals, selling solutions beyond billboard. I am so excited, to be availed this opportunity to actually moderate because it's an opportunity for me to learn a lot from seasoned professionals. That is people that we take our proposals to. So it's an honor to be here today, you know, to learn and also to develop ourselves generally. So I have our three participants, and I will be introducing them one after the other. And of course, I mean, they are here and they are ready for us. So our first person will be Francis Obiajulu from Nigerian Breweries, media manager. Francis has over 9 years of experience spanning media management, data-driven marketing, digital marketing, information and communication management, network engineering and ICT function. He's trained in computer engineering, digital and media marketing, is a professional with data and process analytical skills, and is passionate about brand management. I mean, you're very welcome, Francis Obiajulu. And then we have Chinonso. Welcome, Francis.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure to be here. Apologies, I'm actually en route a project. That's why I'm currently in my car, and I couldn't miss this for anything. So thank you everyone that has joined me. Looking forward to a beautiful session. Thanks.
You're very welcome. It's allowed. I mean, it's online. Online is everywhere, anywhere. So it's allowed. Also, we have Chinonso Atuegwu. He's a seasoned media strategist. I'm sure most of us know him. His media experience transcends beyond OH. In fact, we can say that it's a one-stop shop for everything media and advertising. He has a core in OH strategy planning. He has led some of the most successful OH campaign in Nigeria, and he's reputed for his dexterity and his innovative ideas. He does not hesitate to pass his knowledge. I mean, I've met him one-on-one on quite a number of occasions, and he's one to look out for. Welcome, Chinonso.
Thank you very much, Anna, and good afternoon, and compliments of the season to everybody that's joined, and I look forward to having a good time with you guys.
Welcome. Thank you. And finally, but not the least, we have Emeka Ahamefule Golden, a seasoned media professional with over 8 years experience in the media sector. He started his career in a monitoring agency. So you know what they say about people who go from monitoring agency to planning. You know, they know how to hold the OH people. Anyway, he started his career in a monitoring agency, CCM, before moving to media agency, and now is currently a senior OH deputy manager in All Seasons Zenith, a member of the PBC group. You are very welcome, Emeka.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, everyone. Sorry, my internet is kind of it's nice being here. I think I would like to share some of that experience with you people. Thanks.
Okay, all right, yeah. So welcome everyone who is in on this discussion. You're welcome once again. And before we go into the topic proper, I have a short game. It's called rapid response questions. So our three participants will be answering one after the other. We'll start with Francis, move to Nonso, and then move to Emeka. Then I say the next question, and we do also the same. So are we ready?
We're not.
You're not ready. You better be ready.
We're not. But let's go.
It's not big deal. It's not too personal. It's more about the work. Okay, so I'm just going to run through my question. So the first one is ATL or BTL? Francis?
ATL, please.
Nonso?
BTL, I would say.
Emeka?
BTL.
Okay. OHTV? Francis?
Yeah, of course, TV.
Nonso?
OH, I would say.
Emeka?
OH.
Traditional OH versus activation. Billboards activation.
Yeah.
Francis?
I'll go for activation actually. With regards to those two options, I'll go for activation.
Okay. Nonso?
Activation as well. Traditional, regular out of home and activation. I'll go for activation.
Emeka?
I wish I could pick both, but it's a question of selection now. So I will just go with traditional OH.
Okay. Now talking about OH, static digital. Francis?
Well, of course.
Nonso?
With the way we currently use LEDs, I'd rather go for digital static.
Static. Okay. Emeka?
I'll currently go for digital actually.
Okay. I think I've read enough of OH. I'll just go straight. Francis, tea or coffee?
Coffee.
Nonso?
Coffee.
Tea or coffee?
Heineken.
I had two options. But it's allowed. It's allowed. Emeka?
Coffee any day.
Wow,
Coffee
interesting.
any day. Yeah.
I feel like I know everything about you guys. So it's great to know. It's great to know. We'll just move straight into our topic. Thank you very much, Francis, Nonso, and Emeka. You guys were great sport in my question. Okay, so now we're talking about developing winning OH proposals. You know, I believe that it's a topic that can not be exhausted, basically, because it's an industry where you're having new entrants like literally every week. Every week, it's a growing industry, and people in your position get to see all sorts of proposals from different people, and I can imagine how much that is. So, our number one question is, what are your expectations? That's for Mr. Francis, by the way. What are your expectations in a proposal, a winning proposal, that is a proposal that is catchy enough to get your attention?
Okay, for me, thank you very much for this question. For me, the first thing I expect from a proposal that is catchy enough is the wow effect. Because we are used to certain kinds of outdoor solutions in our Nigerian market. And every now and then you get to see some executions in the western part of the world, even in Asia, because Asia is really good with technology. And so for me, my expectation from an outdoor proposal, first of all, is the wow effect. Okay, what's that thing that consumers will see and stop, and then want to interact with it? That for me is the first expectation.
Okay. Yes, thank you very much, Francis. Nonso, do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, so basically, when people talk about innovation or proposals that are winning in the market, I think a lot of us get it mixed up a little bit, and we go for thinking the white horse project, putting the billboards in the sky and doing all of that. So for me, innovation is in the basic sense, doing the basic things differently. So I asked a couple of questions, and I say to myself, LEDs as we have it in the market, how are we currently using it? So I see a media plan, and all I'm saying is we're buying the board for 1 month, and then we're supposed to play images on them, slides on them. And then when we think innovation, we say, okay, to the client, can we do a 10 seconds GIF or MOV or MP4, whatever it is, and that is where it ends. So for me, there's still a lot more we can do with these platforms that are as basic and as possible, because from my experience, what I've seen most times is that when we go for these white horse projects, trying to chase the cloud, it scares the client away. So I believe innovation for me is in the basic, very basic things. For example, what are we doing with programmatic in this market? Nothing at the moment. A lot of vendors don't even accept programmatic buying. What are we doing with triggers on LED, as it were? What are we doing with trans advertising the way we know it? It's always been the basic sense. There's still a lot we can do with this very basic, because like I always like to say, traditional out of home is not going to die anyway. It's how we use what we currently have differently. That's, for me, that's innovation. And it has to be simple, clear-cut, achievable. That's what I see as innovation in out of home.
Okay, all right. Thank you very much, Nonso. Emeka, I must say that I would like you to actually, you know, should I say expatiate on what Nonso just said? Because talking from what Francis said, he said that it wants a wow effect, it wants the innovation, and then Nonso says that it wants the basic things done differently, or actually just you know, like building on what we have, executing further on what we have. So Emeka, what's your take on that?
Actually, that's always, sorry, can you hear me very well? Sorry, my bandwidth, I think my network is a little bit unstable. So, but you can hear me, right? You can hear me, right? Okay.
Yes.
So, actually, he has all said that's just like part of majority of the issue that we actually face in this current industry now. I will actually say LEDs, as he said, is one of the most we've not utilized. At least we have almost just utilized like 20% of what we can really use these platforms to do. We've just utilized like 20%. We have so much more we can do with it. Go to other industries, like maybe outside the countries. You could see a lot they are doing with some of these kind of platforms, and you start asking yourself that, where are we at the moment and how far? I think most times we look at the companies coming into Nigeria and trying to invest, but most times I don't know how they, maybe when they come and they mix up with the ones that we currently have and they see that there's no innovation, they all get stuck at the point and maybe start doing the same thing that we do currently, instead of maybe trying to expand, like at least the likes of JC Decor that came in. And I think although it has a kind of a challenge, because when they came in, it's also hard to force others to try to improve and maybe speed up their game or lose out of maybe pushing out competition and all those things. So everybody was forced to try to, those that had LED screens, you see them start upgrading their screens and know that I have to wake up because competition has come or I'll just die off. So I feel that we've done, but we've not gotten to where we want to get to. You see, of just 20% we've just utilized. So I think they just did it all.
All right, thank you very much, Emeka. And I like the point where you mentioned that, you know, newcomers who have actually executed, outstanding innovation in other countries coming to Nigeria, and then after like maybe one or two attempts, they actually kind of like just, get laid back like everyone else. So I'll put it to you, Nonso. Don't you then think that the challenge is the fact that these ideas are being shared, but for one reason or the other, the should I say the clients or the agency, maybe are not taking it a step further or are not open to it. I've worked with one or two international companies. I worked with Picasso, and now I'm with PMG International, and I know what they do outside of the country. But here, it's not the same. So is it the environment?
Yeah, so I think there's a bit of interference coming from, okay, I think it's better. So thank you very much, Sarah. So that question for me, I would answer with a bit of a scenario that played out in my early days in this business. So while at Poster Scope, I led a couple of pitches. Our jobs then, I would say, were to design very beautiful slides, tell beautiful stories, and tell the client, oh, we're going to be doing this X, Y, Z. We don't focus on the basic. Like that's where I think I get my view about the basics from. So I was building a slide on one day. It was for a pitch. And then someone who I respect a lot a brother and a friend, Emeka, no longer in the country, walked past me, and then he said one thing to me. He said, "No, after all these beautiful slides you could make, it's still LED, it's still lamppost, it's still Unipo, and people will buy at the end of the day." I froze for a minute and I asked myself a question. He was actually saying the truth, because we go to pitches armed with all these beautiful ideas, beautiful innovations, but at the end of the whole thing, when it comes to implementation, we still fall back to the basics. Now that brings me to a point where I say to myself, Emeka mentioned something interesting that I had in mind. When the likes of JCDeco came into the market, and then we saw a lot of people sit up, I was really excited. I was pumped up, and I said to myself, we're actually getting somewhere. We will go somewhere with this, because I made some slides and I said to the clients, it was a one slide saying out of home innovation to be driven by entrance of global players. But 5 years after, I look back and I ask myself, have we really moved from where we were to where we are currently? The answer is open, subjective, but I think my opinion is that no, we may have moved, and credit to everybody in the industry, credit to the industry drivers, OAN led by Adufo, a lot of other people, everybody, the agencies, the clients, credit to all of us. We've done beautifully well. We are not currently where we were years back, but I think we are still very far from destination. And then this is, you asked a question, you said, where do I think the missing link is? It's everywhere. It's from the media partners to the agency people, and then to the client. I don't know if I have time to go into detail of why I say this. So for the vendor, for argument's sake, I don't see vendors currently. A lot of them are doing it, but I don't see them seeing themselves as partners. They are more like, we are selling sports. We want you to come and buy billboards and buy LEDs. They are not seeing themselves as strategists. Vendors are supposed to be strategists. Partners rather are supposed to be strategists. They are supposed to be thinkers as well. They're supposed to come forward with solutions. So say to the agency person, or to, because a lot of the partners have direct access to the clients. You can take these ideas to the clients. I see this happening on TV and radio. And then again, there's another thing that I see missing in the industry, which is capacity to deliver. I'll give an example. I remember when Tapas Palm launched in the market, it was a Dentsu brand. So I went to the client and I said to the client, "Oh, we are going to be doing something that is wow. Because it was supposed to launch in Onitsha, and I said to them, can we allow people in Onitsha go to bed on Friday night and wake up on Saturday morning seeing artificial palm trees in strategic locations in Onitsha, and then have them asking questions, what is happening?" The client bought the idea, and I took it. We brought budgets, and I delivered this job to a partner to deliver. The rest is history. Till today, I've not come out of the shock of what happened then. I know. Then from the client will always hide behind budget constraints and all of that. And those conversations are conversations that we've had a lot of times. Budget that you spend on innovation is not necessarily the budget for the campaign. You spend budget on innovation not to get it back from that location, but from the scale. I will give examples. Maybe you won't go on. Yeah.
I think I want Francis to respond on that. I think I wanted to respond on that. So Francis, of course you were listening. So he just said that, you know, that sometimes there is this reluctance, right? Maybe around budgeting with the client. What's your take on that, Francis?
I'm not sure Francis can hear
us. Okay. I'm not sure he's here. I'm not sure he's here. I think maybe being on the road actually, as you know, Nigeria now, the network has.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I want to go to the other part of your of what you were saying, because I actually took a note down. You know, and you said something about the partners, that's the media suppliers now, not coming up. We are supposed to be co-strategists. Let me put it that way. You know.
My internet.
Hello, Francis? You're on mute.
Yes, I'm back. I think apologies. My internet was the problem, so I'm back.
Okay. So I don't know if you heard a part of Chinonso's
Anna, I think he has left again. I think his network is a problem.
Okay.
Hmm.
All right. Francis?
Hello, I'm here.
Yeah, okay, yeah. So I don't know if you heard part of the things that Chinonso said. He was talking about how ideas are shared with the client, and there is always this reluctance around budgeting. So I don't know if you have anything to say about that.
It's the reality. He's talking from experience.
So you are guilty. You are guilty as charged, right?
It's very funny. But I say but because I think a number of times dependent on, so it's not across board, it's basically per brand and or per client, more or less, because I think my colleagues at Rapid-xtra would confess that barring the pushback we got from the state, the Lekki Link Bridge would have been known as Heineken Bridge by the end of this year. And based on the innovation that was presented and the idea of making that an iconic site for the brand, the business actually provided the funds required for the project, and development was ongoing till a number of people actually said they don't want the site to be faced by an alcoholic brand. But that's by the way. So while I agree with Chinonso with regards to the client, a number of times, a lot of times guilty with seeing lovely ideas, lovely execution, lovely proposals, and then coming around to say, you know what, we don't have the money to execute. A number of times, the client still goes out to actually want to execute such projects.
Okay. All right. Yeah, your network wasn't that the best, so I couldn't really pick most of what you were saying. But I think he's talking about how when this idea comes, client may be reluctant, and when they are not even reluctant, then the ideas cannot be executed for one reason or the other. Maybe the environment, maybe Nigeria as a whole. So yeah. So Emeka, I would like you to talk further on this, when project eventually gets signed on and it doesn't get executed because of one reason or the other. So do you think the regulatories have a role in this?
Okay, yeah. I would say when the projects when a project is signed on and everything is just ready for you to execute, and maybe it's not for maybe some logistic issue, or maybe I don't know what the authorities do are also part of the issue. Why? I also blame them, and I would not also blame them, because from the start there was a proposal that was sent. There was a time frame between the planning period, the presentation period, and the media partner was carried along. So he already knows, okay, you're already giving him the hint that, okay, this is when I want to execute my project. This particular time, I'm going to give you creative by this time. I'm going to get this material by this time. So just get your team ready, and everything is ready for us to deploy. Now, what happens between that time frame, and that is the time that the partner will start. Most times, I will blame the partners, because most times they will have issues with their board, and they won't resolve it with the regulatory authorities of that particular state, until when they now start hearing, the client has approved. That's why you see them going to LASA, or maybe going to maybe each of the states, maybe I don't know, maybe any of the states, or maybe regulatory authority that controls that particular state. That's when you now start seeing them, deploy. You now start calling them, you say, no, please, we went to LASA, they impounded our board. We want to pay, please, so you're trying to sort it out. Okay, we don't have the complete money, but we're trying to negotiate something so that that is not supposed to be so. I think from the beginning of when you've even submitted your proposal and it's approved, and the client has approved, and we told you, okay, this is the time frame when we are going to deploy this campaign, you should be getting yourself ready to know that, okay, this particular time, this is when you're supposed to execute. That's when you should be doing all your workings on the ground, to be talking to the regulator, make sure your papers, everything is sorted out. Even though it's not sorted out, you should reach out to an agreement with them before the client eventually gives you a creative to deploy. So I also blame the regulatory authorities too, because of nowadays they are too greedy that they keep the owners of the boards, they keep them in a very uncomfortable positions that they cannot even speak out. Not that they don't speak out, they come together once in a while, have their meetings and the rest of them, but most times it's not forthcoming. They argue and maybe sort out some, and they don't sort out some. I've had issues with one of the biggest out of home companies. I had one issue. I had the creative ready for the partner to deploy, and he just came back and told me, after everything, I've even given contracts out, everything was just ready for us to deploy. I've even told the clients that, don't worry, expect pictures. Just for me to just get the shocker of my life, an email, please, dear Emeka, kindly find attached, please, I'm so sorry. Just a long message. I was like, I was just shocked. I was there for like 1 minute reading that email. I couldn't even understand the email because I was like, what happened between yesterday and today? What changed? They don't say, they just came to they now started, they twisted it that they deployed and the regulatory authority just came and impounded their board. I said, no, that is not true. It didn't deploy at all. Okay, if you deployed before, can I see the deployment pictures? Because I know at the point of deployment, you should have a picture that you can show me. So what I'm just saying in this sense is that you should always be ready. If you know that you have a problem with your site, or maybe you have a problem with your platforms, sort it out. If you know you can't sort it out, you can leave those ones and do the ones you can pay for and the ones you can manage. And always brief your clients on time to ensure that they are also ready, because these guys, they work too hard. The agency guys work too hard in such a way that before you peel out a budget for the clients, you go a long way. Sometimes you have sleepless nights working on media plans, strategy, and everything. So it takes a lot of time.
All right. Thank you very much, Emeka. At this point, before I actually call on Nonso, I think if any of the partners, media suppliers, have anything to say, just wave your hand. I'll call you. You need to call me and talk, and say your own parts, of this discussion. So, but, what I want to put to Nonso is that, I think for Emeka, he believes that most of the issues is with the suppliers, maybe a little with the regulatory. So now, but in my own experience, I would say that, there are some projects that I've actually executed in my company in South Africa that I know that if we bring that to Nigeria, it would not fly. For instance, there was an OH campaign for a cigarette brand. And what it was about is that burning as in fire outbreak. And what it entails was actually burning a billboard from the beginning to the end for 3 consecutive days. And you can see the fire service, the OH regulator, everybody came together to make this campaign a success. So now I want to ask you, Nonso, do you think it is possible in Nigeria? And do you think the regulatories are not majorly to blame?
Yeah, okay. So I hear you clearly, Emeka. I want to state it on the ground that this is not a forum where I want to necessarily apportion blames, because if we go that route, we might detour from the real essence of what we are here to do. So everybody, we're all in the box. The clients, the agency people, the media partners, the regulators, we're all in a box. We're all in a box. We're all choked in a box. And if one of us or any of these people don't contribute to this, there will be a problem. I think I hear you when you say that regulators are also a problem. I know that I've seen this happen a lot of times, a problem. But beyond just regulation, let's even talk about the agency boys and girls, I would want to call ourselves. One, there's this safe zone mentality in the agency world where we would rather, because the clients will always hold you accountable for the budget they give you. So we would rather do the safe things than go out of the box to say, okay, let's even try something, because the client will tell you, the client can't give you 100 million naira and you come back with stories. So we try to give ourselves insurance in the agency world where we say, oh, let's do the safe things. This is my no work. Because of it, someone like me, trauma of what happened to me in 2015 still chases me till today, that when I want to recommend a project, I'm already thinking in my head, which partner can do this first without even thinking of the project itself. If I can't find the partner in my head, I don't go ahead. That is safe zone mentality. We need to break away from that. That's my opinion. Secondly, in the agency world, innovation cuts the rope for devices we know in the agency. Innovation budgets are innovation budgets. Nothing can happen to it. So a regular ideal media planner in the agency would rather not go the innovation route, because innovation budget is innovation budget. We'd rather go the traditional route so that we can perpetuate some of the vices we know that we all do in the industry. So it's a problem in the agency world. Also, we have access to a lot of case studies. We have access to global case studies as agency people. We have platforms where we can share ideas. We don't even go to look what is going on. So Anna just mentioned an example of what happened in South Africa. That is an example. We in the agency, we have the opportunity to see what happens elsewhere in the world, in Europe, in America, but we don't. We rather stay in the safe zone. When I was running out of home as a core, I had the mentality in out of home, and it didn't work. I saw a lot of loopholes in there. We developed this, myself, Corridor is on the call. We developed this 70-30-10 mentality. That's how we apportion our budget. 70% for the things that we know that already work. The traditional billboards, we know they already work. The lampposts, the BRTs, they already work, for argument's sake. Then 30% of our budget would go to improve on those things that already work. So for example, we talk about modes, 3D modes, 2D modes on billboards. We commit 30% of our budget to that. When we want to do lampposts, for argument's sake, let's not do it the regular way. Let's even try and hang the cup on the pole. That is what 30% of the budget goes for. And then 10% of our budget, we always committed to trying out new things. We will tell the client head on and say, client, this might fail or it might work. You need to partner with us. Let's even try and test and learn. So it's a trial and error budget. 10% of the budget is trial and error budget. Most times it works, most times it doesn't. Maybe in the course of presentation, I'll give example of how this 10% budget, how we worked on some projects. Maybe if time will allow me. The client I already spoke about already, the fact that they are always talking about budget, and the clients are not even ready to innovate. I'm not saying they are not ready to innovate, but because also most of these innovations are tied to KPIs on the client side. If Francis, for example, knows that if the marketing director gives him 20 million to try out something, at the end of the year, his performance review, will be based on that 20 million. So he's careful. If he's not sure that he will produce results, Francis would rather say, please give me billboards, let's go. So beyond just the vendors, there's also the agency side, there's also the client side conversation. That's why I wanted to bring to the table.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Council. Kingsley, Ortega Benson has something to say, actually called for someone who wants to actually briefly, for like a minute, say something about the fact that sometimes we bring this proposal, but we don't deliver.
Thank you, Anna. Good evening, all.
Good evening.
Yeah, my name is Ortega Benson with FPL. So briefly, I want to react to what Noso said about the vendors, that is the partners, not seeing themselves as strategic planners to give ideas. Now, quickly, what I want to say about this is that, yeah, ideas do come sometimes, and from my own side, from my company side, I know once or twice we push in some ideas like that. But I want to push it back to the agencies that most times these ideas are not appreciated in terms of feedback. Even if the ideas are not appreciated, maybe is not needed, it will be okay to get a feedback like, for this I can work with it, for this I can work with it. I can remember a scenario. I did some outline of some brand on why I feel they will work out in some particular platform I own. I only got one feedback, and that is from Joel. And I appreciated him. We spent like 15 minutes talking, and that was the longest I've spoke with that guy over the years that I've known him. But among how many agencies that such ideas were pushed to, only one person, which is impressive.
Okay. Thank you very much.
So it's not that the idea, yeah, quickly. So if these ideas are pushed and when it is not being appreciated in terms of maybe I don't know this guy or I'm not familiar with this guy, if I want to share more with you in such regard.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Vincent.
Can I throw just a little bit of highlights to this?
Okay.
It's a very good one actually. Most of them are they do push most of these proposals. Like they come up with some innovative things, and so when you push you're pushing an innovative kind of document, it's okay, I can do this. It's like a kind of OH proposal. You're proposing something to me. So in the proposal, do you put your timeline? Do you detail it to tell me that, okay, in the cost of execution, this is how much this is going to cost. This is the timeline for deploying it, because now you're trying to push an innovation to me, and in it's not just complete. You're just telling me, will you want to try this? So is it detailed enough to show that, okay, in such a way that, okay, I want to do an innovative core. This is the timeline. This is the cost. This is just everything. Just list it, detail it. Just make it so detailed that in such a way that, once I see it, I'll say, this is good. This is just perfect. But most proposals we just see, they know that the industry that it might just, once you just push it, because most of them, it is their KPI. It is their KPI to push innovative stuff to partners, to clients, to say, okay, will you want to do this? Yeah. So please, but if I'm just trying to say, can you maybe, from going forward, if you make it detailed enough for us, it's going to be good, very, very good.
Okay.
The costs, we can easily just throw it to the client, and the client will be happy. You can do this in 3 weeks. Wow, super. And that's just it.
Thank you, Emeka. So talking about proposal being shared with agency, being shared with clients and all that. So, I would like to actually, we call ourselves partners, and it seems that at the point, point of ideation from the client downwards, it's easier as opposed to ideation coming from the supplier upward. So now when the client or the agency have an idea, don't you think it's at that point that the suppliers should be carried along, as opposed to a week to execution and there is this fire brigade approach? I would like Nonso and Francis to also talk about this.
Yeah, so Anna, I would want to first of all, on behalf of the entire agency setup and system, apologize to the many Bentons out there who push these proposals to the agency system and never get responses. Actually, a very frustrating conversation, because when he was saying it, I was thinking, I was deep in thought, and I'm asking myself, how would I react if I push something I deem innovative to a client, to a Francis, and I don't get a revert from him at all, like he blanks out completely at all. So it feels to me like the third-party partners deserve an apology, and it's also a wake-up call from ourselves in the system to, as much as possible, encourage our partners with. We are all partners in this thing. I don't use the word vendor, I use partner. So we're all partners in this thing, because if a partner cracks his head tries to meet their KPI in there, and innovation is part of it, and they push these proposals to us as agency people, and we don't as little as acknowledge these mails. It is frustrating. Like he said, the person would not send again. So apologies to everybody on the call who that has happened to, and a wake-up call to also the guys on this side of the agency side to please, as much as we can, let's try. I'm also guilty of whatever he has accused us of. I'm guilty of it. So I'm pleading that if we can all wake up and even acknowledge and say, this is a good idea, can we workshop it? I think it's a step in the right direction.
Yes.
So that said, I also like to push this to Francis as well, because from the agency side, we also, as much as we can, sometimes we push out these innovations to the client. Sometimes, it's not every time, sometimes, and we don't normally get responses from clients, or we don't get feedback. So I'm thinking, is there any clog? I'm really asking a question now. Is there any clog within the client? Is there boxes we need to tick with our innovation before it can be acceptable to clients? If Francis can help us with that, it will help us also with following our own innovative ideas. So thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Nonso. And then Francis, of course, would also like you to also, apart from what Nonso just said, to also add, one or two points to the question regarding, carrying the media suppliers along from the point of ideation, as opposed to, when the timeline is so short and then, the whole project fails. Francis?
Yeah, thank you very much, and I thank you, thank you, Emeka, thank you, Benson, as well. I think, okay, let me start. I'll start briefly by saying it's very important. Sorry, can you hear me clearly?
Yeah, we can.
Yes.
Okay, it's very important I know exactly how feedback helps in our daily lives, in the work we do. So it's very important if we actually share feedback with those that we interact with. But it actually helps. It helps to know, am I moving in the right direction or in the wrong direction? And in every way we have missed that opportunity, I think we work together to see how we can improve that practice. That's basically with regards to feedback. With regards to timelines, it's very important because if you do not involve the solution provider at the moment of ideation, what you would have would be an agency or a vendor trying to make you work the last second, or you have the agency promising this can be done in 3 weeks, whereas the solution provider, their self will be like, no, this actually requires at least 5 weeks in order to bring the materials down if you're not in the country, in order to set up the site or the location as required. So I think, yes, it's very important that at the ideation stage, that the solution provider actually is part of that session in order for them to provide the realistic in order for them to provide the realistic opinion with regards to the out-of-home solution being requested. So it's very important. I think the last project we had, the last innovative project that I was mentioning, the Heineken, the Lekki Ikoyi Link Bridge, I think we applied such an approach that for the project, we ensured that the solution provider himself was aware and was giving us timelines based on the realistic execution of the project. So it's very important. Then lastly, with regards to what Chinonso asked, I think you asked if there are buttons to press from the client side. Am I correct?
Yes. So like I was asking, are there boxes that we need to tick for these proposals to even attract your attention? Are there boxes that we need to tick from this side for this proposal that we sent to attract your attention in the first place?
Okay. I would say yes. I wrote it down at some point when you were talking initially, talking about seeing the vendors as partners and not just vendors. for me, I wrote down seeing the agency as the agency seeing yourself as brand builder as well, and not just my media agency. No, you're actually helping me build my brand, which is very important. And when you say you're a brand builder, what does that mean? It means you know exactly what the brand requires to go from point A to point B. That being said, the knowledge or the fact that you are a brand builder tells you, okay, for a brand like Heineken, for example, the proposals that need to be brought to the table for a brand like Heineken has to be iconic projects. It's not going to be, I'm putting an LED on this road, Heineken, come and buy stuff, or I'm putting a massive billboard on this route. Heineken, come and partner, Heineken, come and buy, come and leave the site. No, more than just that. I think knowledge of the brand is very important in making sure that your proposal goes from your inbox to actually the table and to execution, and not just from the inbox straight to either junk mail or revert back to you. That's very important. Once you see yourself, once you know that you're a brand builder, and you know the brand, you know each brand's DNA, what each brand is trying to accomplish next year. Such proposal, you'll be able to determine the proposals or what kind of proposals those brands will find attractive. Case in point, next year is AFCON, if I'm not mistaken. Next year is AFCON. I think the World Cup is next year, but I think AFCON is AFCON next year. And
January.
For example, yeah. So and the 3-3 brand, the football brand, right? The brand that supports the Super Eagles. The question now is that, okay, how can outdoor be impactful in growing the resonance of the 3-3 brand and football lovers? How can that be done? What kind of outdoor solution will that such a brand find impactful for that pillar, which is the football pillar, the friendship pillar, the connection pillar that the brand speaks about? So that's the kind of thinking I expect the agency to begin to have in order to say, okay, what kind of proposal actually fits this brand? What kind of proposal can I bring to this brand that will make the brand say, oh wow, I need this. Oh wow, I think I need to apply this for my brand. Okay, then you tie it to the campaign. For example, so you say, okay, it's in January, which means it's already late, because in January it means this budget should have started in October or September. Okay, but that's what I mean when I say you are thinking more from a brand perspective and not just from outdoor alone. You're thinking, okay, you know what, I am in the outdoor space, but at the same time I have this number of brands, and what is this brand about? It's about love, or it's more thinner. It's about family, it's about connections, it's about happiness. Okay, what can I do in my outdoor space that will speak to this DNA of this brand?
Thank you.
Yes. That's what I expect us thinking about now.
Yeah, thank you very much, Francis. Thank you. I really, this just opens my mind. And I think that with all, this is the point where there seems to be a communication gap between the client, the agency, and the media suppliers. Like, it seems like nobody shares brief with the media suppliers. Sometimes my bosses ask me, what's the brief? And I'm like, the brief is the client wants body, Sokoto, Kano, Kaduna, and Enugu. The media suppliers don't seem to get the vision. They don't understand the impact or what the campaign is to achieve. They don't even know who the target audience is. All they know is that they are being requested to send billboards in so and so location. So, Nonso, why do you think that briefs often do not get to media suppliers? It just seems like it stops at the agency, and then the agency is just kind of like just request for billboards. I mean, if we're partners, shouldn't there be like a carrying along?
Yes. So the point is this: we can only share to the extent of what we know as agency people. That's one. Two, is we also know that there's a confidentiality issue with sharing. So we are in a position to receive client briefs in whole. But I am not sure our confidentiality arrangements allow us to share same information with the media partners. That is a gap. I see that's a gap I see already. So for hearing Francis talk, I think in this regard, the agency will take the blame because we, from what go, we know what the client is thinking because we've signed an NDA. So clients can come and tell us, for argument's sake, that we are launching a new product. When Desperado launched, we as an agency knew 6 months ahead, but we couldn't disclose that information to the outside world. Now that is a gap. We know, but we can't pass to the vendors. To the partners rather. I don't know how there's a conversation. This is a conversation we need to have and understand how we maybe by way of a code name or something in that regard. Because I know when clients launch new products, they don't even tell us the name. They come with one funny name like that as a brand name. You get to us. If we can also try to codify our own brief to the partners as well to say, okay, can you imagine that something like this is going to happen XYZ number of days? Is there anything we can do to leverage it? We've not been doing that. I'm not sure. I've not been doing it. I don't know if other person have. I'm speaking for myself here, but I think I'm speaking for the majority of the industry. Okay. Because of confidentiality issues, we don't share this information. So I think we need to find a way around it.
Is that a Nigerian thing though? Because I mean, I was shocked when recently one of the agencies here, sent me like a brief for our South African office, and everything was there. The budget, the people they are targeting, what they want to do. So is it that our proco is too much in Nigeria? You don't want us to know, or I'm trying to understand that part.
I don't know. Anna, I don't know.
Emeka, you have to answer that question because that person to the budget, really, to the budget. Emeka, what's your take on that?
There's something called most times some clients will not just review everything to you. Likewise, they do same. I actually when I when I had to ask that sometimes they will tell you that the campaign, most times they purposely do it. They tell you that your campaign is going to break so time. They put a tentative date there and they won't tell you when they want to break. I think most times it's just to tell you, to prompt you to be aware that, okay, prepare yourself. Most times they sense these things, and maybe most times they know that if we tell you want to break so time, we know that you're not prepared. Most times they know that you're not prepared in terms of maybe finance could be one of their reasons. They know that their paperwork in-house to sign up in briefs and everything. Or maybe they know, maybe they want to seek an approval because most times they are the ones, they also have superiors to whom they want finance or something, or a brief to be approved or something. One or two things, and they might not want to let you know and maybe put a tentative date in the brief, which they send to us. So most times it's just like that. So we apologize that it happens like this.
I mean, no, we are all partners. We're just trying to ensure that, we get to that point in Nigeria, because it seems like we are stuck in terms of OH. I mean, no new thing happening, no, even with the basic, no innovation around the basic. You see media suppliers talking about geofencing. I don't know if everyone has ever done geofencing, in Nigeria. I mean, is the term where digital, that's online, is literally like taking a chunk of budget from OH, and it seems like OH is sleeping on it. So we are here to learn, to see how we can move forward and see how we can make suggestions in our respective organizations and all that to get to the next level. So that's it basically. So we'll take questions from the audience. I have a couple of them, and then I'll just either any of you guys can actually answer that. So I'll just take question one from Mike. It says Mike's iPhone. That's the name. So it says that with the current payment pattern from almost all media agencies, do you think innovative ideas that are proposed can come alive? So.
Anna, let me go first. So, what payment is a huge a huge challenge. It's a bone in the neck of the industry. Because some of these innovative ideas, in all ramifications, have to be pre-funded. They have to be pre-funded because the budgets are not something you just walk into the bank. Because the margin levels are actually very low and slim for us to have partners fund this project as part of the arrangement. Regular billboards, we can understand that, okay, this is regular, this is what we do on the daily, even though APCON is having a conversation around trying to shorten payment 10 days to 30, max 45 days for every campaign run. That said, on innovation, it has to be, I think it has to be pre-funded. It has to be prepaid for, because these are projects that the margins are small. We don't expect partners to go to the banks to get facilities to run this project. So I think it's a conversation we need to have with clients. First off, it's a huge conversation. It's a very valid question. We need to take this to the client and say, okay, Mr. Client, we understand that our arrangement with you is to pay us for the 5 days after every campaign. But when we bring innovation to the table, can we get prepayment? If we can't, there are other options we can take. Can we pay for, there's what we call cost of funding in agency work, where the client pays you as part of the bulk payment, the client pays you a fee to fund a project on their behalf. It's called cost of funding. So if clients can take that option and say, because at times there's always a problem. You don't expect a partner who you've not committed money to his hands to run down to Onitsha to plant a tree for you at his own expense, and then there is staff salary also to be paid in the office. So it's a conversation that we need to have with clients to say, okay, for projects like this, can we treat them as prepayment rather than paying after the project?
Okay, Francis?
Yeah, I'm here. I think I was just reading the questions over. Yeah. So I think I'm aligned with Chinonso on the suggestion of cost of funding. That's the cost of funding part has to be. But at the end of the day, I think it's a discussion that the agency would need to table at the speed of the client. That in order for this to be executed in a timely manner, they have to sort of funds pre-approved or provided for the partners to be able to deploy the solution. So it is the cost of funding solution, because for most clients, or if I say from my own end, I would say most times payments are made based on services rendered, joy. So the cost of funding solution might just be the way to go. Thanks.
Thank you very much, Francis. Emeka.
Okay. Okay. They've said, they almost said everything. For me, I don't have much to say when it comes to that. I think for me, I've done at least some couple of innovations. So the first thing I did was I take myself as an example, because if you're doing this thing, you're doing special innovations and all those things that's just outside our traditional kind of platforms. I think you just need to pre-fund it. You have to prepare. These are special projects. For me, I do raise it as the middleman between the clients and the partners. I understand their plight too. I won't for me, it has never been done. I've not done a special project in my office and I've not prepared. I think it's our own as the executives, as the guys that stand between the clients, and it's for us,
to
we,
push
the
that.
agency people, we need to tell the client that you must prepare. If you don't prepare, there's no way this thing can stand. So I think that's my final. That's my final.
All right. Thank you very much, Emeka. We have a question from Kayla-01. I think we answered this question at the beginning of the discussion, but I mean, perhaps this person wants to know about pen to paper, like when you're putting together a proposal, maybe the arrangements, maybe how you put it, I mean, as opposed to the innovation side. So Chinonso, if you can help with that.
Okay, so if I get the question right, we are talking about proposals and how more or less they can be sellable.
Yes.
So first thing first, I tell a lot of people, I receive some proposals sometimes and they are not even readable. The proposals might have a lot of details, a lot of information for me, but because they are not, that's one, they are not readable. I can't even, there's no proper formatting, there's no, maybe it's because I'm a fan of PowerPoint, they call me the painter. So maybe that's the reason why such proposals don't appeal to me. So when I see proposals that are not readable, they are too wordy, the colors are everywhere in the slides and all of that, I might miss the information in there. That's one. So because in local parlance, they say that the eye would consume before the mouth consumes. That's a proverb in Ebola. So my eye has to see a proposal first and it has to appeal to me. That is why when we go for pitches ourselves, we spend sleepless nights trying to paint slides, as it were. So the slides have to be readable. That's one. If the slide is readable and fine, and it doesn't have content inside, it's a waste of my time and a waste of the client's time. And ordinarily, I won't progress those kind of slides. Then Emeka mentioned something that is very, very important. So I see a lot of ideas coming through, but without timelines. I still say it every time. I have the trauma of 2005, 2015 in my head till date.
We are sorry.
So there are no feasible timelines. If I see a proposal and I say, okay, I'm going to do X, Y, Z for you, and I see clear timelines, I say from the day you briefed me, 15 days after, I'm going to send you this, and then 10 days after. So that is clear, measurable timeline, so I can track. So most times when these proposals come in, I read it and I say to myself, it's one of those things. You won't come alive. You can't come alive because we don't have the capacity to deliver. So if we can see these things, I don't want to talk about cost because better soup than money maker, so they say. So cost is really the list of my considerations when I look at proposals that are innovative. I look at the content before I look at cost. So these things have to be in place. I have to see clear timelines as to how do you want to deliver this beyond just word of mouth, beyond just saying that you can. How do you want to? Do you need partnerships outside of your capacity? Are you partnering with anybody outside of yourself? So these conversations have to come in very clear. And again, it has to be brief and straight to the point. If it's not brief and straight to the point, the meat of the matter might be on slide 98 and I tire out on slide 20. And the person might say, I did not respond, but because I've gotten to 20 and I believe in my mind that there's nothing going forward. So we need to make our presentations very punchy, very readable, and very detailed. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. So the third one is just basically like a comment. So I'm just going to read it. You know, it says that this is from Adela. This is from Adela Karim, I think. It says that I'm just going to lend credence to the point raised by Benson. The agency guys hardly see us as anyone who can bring out innovative ideas that they can sell to brands. Sorry, just a minute. I'm missing part of that they can sell to brands. It's usually believed that if it's not from them directly, it can't be sold to clients. I love the manners Nonso is handling his questions. Is that true, Emeka? Is that true, really? You know, somebody just said something very that you don't see media suppliers.
So the thing is that you have to speak the truth. You know, I say the truth and that's just it, how it is. I know everybody, we are the partners. Without you guys, without the vendors, we are not, you know, without the vendors. Because if they say they will not give us billboard, we can't sell. We can't do anything. So we are not saying that. We are humble. We are very, very humble, please. We are very, very humble. But most times, we also have subordinates too, that we try to talk to them that, hey, please be lenient to the people that we are buying these platforms from. Be lenient to them. So not that we don't see you people like you can also do proposals or anything. And so I know some partners I do, vendors that own platforms I've spoken to. They're my very good friends. Most of them, majority of them are my good friends. I tell them that, okay, see, for example, you're talking about proposals. I was saying, okay, you want to do a proposal to a client. You're telling me, for example, the simplest of the proposals, which are your vacant sites. If you put a vacant site, you don't put your printing all your printing informations on them, and you just put a vacant site. Sometimes you just put picture, and the pictures are just horrible. They're just horrible. I'm just trying to say it. I'm not trying to push blame on anyone. Some pictures are not selling. Your picture sells you. The picture you put on the slide, it sells you. I tell them, I say, the way your presentations are, that's how I push it to them. I don't change anything. I don't say I want to maybe start making, sometimes we don't even have this time to start making addresses or maybe trying to adjust the work you do on PowerPoints that you send to us. And so I'm not trying to push blame to anybody, but I'm just saying it because I've had a couple of stuff which I've seen. If you want to do it's very simple presentation. I've seen one presentation, very simple. The sites were many, but the way it was addressed, the proposal, very easy. The pictures were superb. That if you see the pictures, the way they were taken, long range, short range, under it was just the printing dimensions. Every detail was specified. Even the person even went as far as putting the distance to supermarkets, to even mapped it. I was so happy when I saw that proposal. Why won't you say? Why won't we pick it? Why won't we pick it? But some people will just slam picture. Wow. Even the ones that slam, it's blurry. They will just send it to you like that. They just want to. It's not like that now. We are human beings too. Yeah? Sometimes we are, when we finish doing media planning and buying and all those stuff, we start. Who can start looking at all these pictures one after the other? Please just help us. Help us. Please. So,
sorry, Anna.
Okay.
Sorry, Anna. This was what I meant when I said we need to innovate on the basic things. We need to do the basic things differently. What Emeka just mentioned is a huge problem that we need to address. Sometimes it's we as agency can also contribute, because you call someone in the middle of the night and say, I'm doing a media plan, I need this presentation immediately. You keep calling them until they wake up in the morning. Even while they're doing their morning devotion, we're calling them. So they quickly send whatever they can lay their hands on to us. However, that's not an excuse. That is not an excuse. As an organization, as a partner that is selling, I don't see why we can't have these things ready, properly done. See what he mentioned about the media partner putting in the presentation, distance for markets, distance to here. That is innovation. That is doing the basic thing differently. So when I pick up a media plan now, when I pick up a media plan for a Maggie, for example, and I know that target is for markets, it's easy for me to pick from that vendor's proposal to say, oh, I don't need to go far. It's not about the site. It has to be in proximity to something. And I am already looking for it, and it's already in the presentation. I had an experience in 2017. I planted a billboard. I did a plan for Brand Guinness in Benin. We deployed beautiful pictures. Client applauded. Well done, guys. Well done, agency team. 4 days after, the client forwarded a letter to me. I said, "Also, please treat." And I opened it. It was from the Islamic community in Edo State, slamming a 100 million naira fine on Guinness for placing a Guinness billboard in their premises. First thing I did, I opened my media plan. There was nothing about Muslim prayer ground.
Proximity to mosque.
And then I went to the vendor's proposal, the partner's proposal, and it was absolutely the same thing. The person just said, Benin Ubowo Road, facing traffic to Ubowo Market, full stop. And I gave a material, an alcoholic material to you, and you posted it in the premises. In that instance, what would I have done? Now it is us doing the basic things the wrong way. If we do the basic things the right way, we are already helping ourselves. So to say, so we need to try and as much as possible to do these basic things the right way, first and foremost. Thank you, Emeka, for that point. It's very important.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Emeka. Thank you, Chinonso. I mean, that's like the basic, the pictures, what you're selling. You know, it says that the way you are dressed is the way you would be addressed. So if your pictures do not tell a story, then I mean, how are you able to sell? So there's a question. It says that I hear Francis talking about brand DNA. How do we get the brand objectives to help us and DNA to help us develop winning proposals? So Francis, you know, Chinonso did mention the other time that due to an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, you know, there's some information that they may not be able to pass, you know, cascade down to the media supplier. So is there a way around that, you know, so that we can understand, you know, what exactly we are getting into or doing, Francis?
Okay, pardon me, you might hear a lot of background noise. Like I said, I'm actually on the move. But unfortunately, not so much. I think Nonso, in saying what he said, also preferred a solution in that the agency will need to look for a code way of actually giving the partners adequate information required by the client. Okay, because there's already an NDA, so they will not be able to tell you exactly what the client is saying. You can't share the exact brief with you, but I think there should be a very creative way where they can actually tell you the client wants A, B, C. You don't actually say the client wants A, B, C. So I think that might be the only solution available.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you so much for all your contributions. We are very grateful. So between Nonso and Emeka, we're just going to, for you to give us your final call to the media suppliers on the subject, developing winning OH proposals. And then we'll round up from there. And then Kingsley will come in. Thank you, everyone. Chinonso.
Okay, so I think I've said my final words from the beginning, but I would re-echo them again. First off, we need to start doing this is not a call to the media partners, no. It's a call for everybody in the box. It is a call for everybody, from the clients to the agency people to the media suppliers, media partners, I'll call them. It's a call for all of us, because I say this and I'm afraid. I've sat in meetings with clients where if there is any hit on marketing budgets, on advertising budgets, the first hit is always out of home. It is always out of home, always out of home, never TV, never radio. It is always out of home. Two things count against us. One is the fact that the client is not even able to measure what we're telling them. We all know, rule of thumb, that out of home works. Yeah, it works. It delivers the necessary awareness and impact. It lends itself to a lot of things. But when push comes to shove and clients start putting numbers on the table, the client contact would not necessarily defend something it doesn't have numbers for. When push comes to shove, I know what I'm saying. When they have to now defend GRPs, for argument's sake, when they have to defend a couple of things, for argument's sake, there's really, when outdoor people sit in the room, we just watch the other guys take the shine. Digital is even a killer, because digital can, you pay for what you utilize. Outdoor, people feel there's a lot of wastage. So it's a clarion call for us, everybody, especially the agency and the partners, because this is where our business lies. The clients can do anything and get away with it, but we as agency people and as partners, we need to do more. We need to try and drive up innovation. We need to ramp it up. It's a no-brainer. We have to do it to stay afloat. If we don't do it, we can't stay afloat. And we have to first of all start doing the very basic things properly. If we don't get to that space, very, very soon, outdoor budgets will start plummeting. We need to watch it as we go. And thank you, everybody. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, everybody, for your questions. Thank you, Kingsley, for the opportunity. Thank you, everybody who joined. Thank you. I had a good time.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Nonso. Emeka?
Okay, mine is just
briefly.
Simple. Mine is just simple. I'm just trying to appreciate the vendors people will do a lot for us, and I will say thank you to all of you, because most of them, they go a long way to ensure that at least our clients are satisfied. But just as Nonso has said, we don't need to do so much innovative stuff. If you do just that little one you do from the little stuffs you send to us, are innovative enough. They should just try and ensure that they keep it up.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Any final call, Mr. Francis? So just say a goodbye so we can just.
Okay, I think for me, like Nonso, I keep copying Nonso. I think for me, the final call is the agency seeing itself as a brand builder and not just an agency. The moment you have that at the front of your mind, not the back of your mind, I think it will go a long way in us working better together. That for me is very important. You are also a brand builder and not just an agency.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much to our three participants. Thank you everyone here. Of course, the takeout from all of this is that your proposal or winning proposal has to be legible. It has to have timeline. It has to have costing, clear pictures, and of course, innovative idea. And as they've always said, it's not about the elephant project. It can also be doing basic things in different ways. Thank you very much, Kingsley, for this opportunity. And we'd like to hear from you because you just disappeared. Where are you, Kingsley?
All right, thank you. Thank you, Anna. Thank you, everyone. Before I wrap up the day, there's something I wanted to add to this topic. When we raised this topic, there's something that was coming to mind. How do we stand out in the whole marketing communication industry? And this topic is one thing that is very, very important for me as a person. And I had to discuss and reach out to a couple of persons before we raise this particular topic. Now, talking about how we can also help ourselves, I think one of the things we need to do is that while we get a brief from clients, we should be able to find a way to recraft that brief and cascade it down to the media partners. Because the partners are the people that will implement. They understand the materials that are needed to do some kind of innovations. They understand the kind of what it would take, the time and all those things. But most times, what we just do is that we, at the agency side, at the time with the whole tight timeline we have and everything, we come up with an idea, push it out to them, expect them to implement. So it should also be important for us, planners and the clients, to be able to find a way to, because we are trying to also be careful not to leak some of the information we're not supposed to get out there. We can always find a way and graph it up. In experience I've had in the past, someone will call you and say, think it as a dairy brand, or think it as a beverage brand. They will ask you what brand. You say, don't forget about the brand, but just think it as a beverage brand. Give me an idea around this area. This is what I need. Think about it. But over the years, after the days of poster scope, I see those things die down and it's no longer coming to life. And it's affecting the way people are perceiving outdoor as practitioners, because it's really, really killing us as industry. So having said that, I don't know if anybody have any question to add, any comment to make, but if none, I will say thank you so much for everyone supporting the Boardroom as a part of the Art of Home Academy's project. Boardroom has been a wonderful platform for us to be able to hold and get all the practitioners and all the people we have as clients and the media partners to hear their voice, discuss some typical issues. Like the last one we have, I want to appreciate Korede. Korede is on the phone. Thank you, Korede, for last episode. Thank you, Mr. Emeka. Thank you for Mr. Sharif. And for this episode, thank you, Anna, for accepting to moderate this particular episode. Thank you, Emeka, for taking time out of your tight schedule. And also, I know that you were supposed to travel today, but you have to hold back your trip to attend this particular thing. Francis is supposed to be at the Ultimate Search Project. He's still on his way. He had to pack to be able to attend to some of these questions. Everybody's making it every effort to make sure that this is a success. And I will say thank you so much. And we will look out for the next one. We are coming the next year. We'll come up with another topic that we'll discuss that will help us to get in. Thank you for joining us in the Boardroom. Mr. Francis wants to say something. Francis, you want to say something?
No, I was just clapping. I was just clapping my hands. No worry, I was clapping for you.
Sorry,
Thank you.
you understand. Okay, thank you very much. And say God bless you for joining the boardroom, and thank you for making it a success this time around. Next year, we'll see you again on the boardroom and say call it a day. Have a lovely Christmas celebration and have a lovely weekend. God bless you.
Bye, guys.
Yeah.
Bye.
Hi, everyone.